Tapestry, a name you may not know, but its products may already be on your wish list. It is home of Coach and Kate Spade and also Stuart Weitzman, maker of what some call women's dream boots.
To really understand the true purpose of the brand. What are the brands? What is the brand promise to consumers?
As the coronavirus lingers on, how is Tapestry doing?
We delivered, as I said, a very strong quarter. We did expand our margins.
Where is the new focus of the luxury fashion industry?
Last quarter, we drove over 800,000 new customers on our digital channels.
Meet Joanne Crevoiserat, CEO of Tapestry, only on BizTalk, only on CGTN. Welcome to BizTalk. I'm Lily Lu. As China pulls ahead in its pandemic recovery, this is the one market that luxury retailers have seen a turnaround this year. China has been, probably now more than ever, the heartbeat of the global luxury product market. New York-based luxury fashion company Tapestry says that this was reflected in its latest financial results. Well, Joanne Crevoiserat is the CEO of Tapestry, and she joins us now. Hi there, Joanne. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Lily. Great to be here.
So Tapestry, I know, has transformed into a multi-brand company in year 2017. How do you think your brand transformation has played out for the group?
We started, as you know, as Coach mono-brand company, and a few years ago, over the past few years, have acquired brands. And the way we think about our company is, we have strong brands with really strong brand equity and differentiated positioning in the marketplace. And our goal is to leverage Tapestry's platform to help those brands achieve higher heights than they could on their own. We have a globally diversified supply chain that has always been a competitive advantage of our company. It also includes our data and digital technologies. We have digital capabilities around the world. And then finally, the strongest plank in our Tapestry platform is our people. And having access to global talent across our brands is a real competitive advantage for us.
Tapestry was among the best performers in October. Its stocks surged close to 50% that month. Even its sales in the first quarter of fiscal 2021 fell 14% from the same period of last year, still topping Wall Street expectations. Originally named Coach, Tapestry was created after it acquired Stuart Weitzman in 2015 and Kate Spade 2 years later. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, Tapestry's gross revenue had grown by close to 35% in just 4 years, reaching more than $6 billion in 2019. And among the three brands, Coach dominates and contributes most of the revenue. Joanne, let's all go through your latest numbers. Recovery starts to take shape for the company, judged by those numbers. What are the bright spots, and how did Tapestry manage to see this turnaround amid the pandemic?
We delivered, as I said, a very strong quarter, and it was made up of, a strong quarter from the top line all the way through the bottom line. We did expand our margins, and we've done that intentionally by delivering product that the consumer values and that they're willing to pay for, delivering that great value, but also leveraging data and analytics. We've leveraged data and analytics and embedded it more in our decision-making process. So we're getting better at understanding our assortment and paring it down and understanding the architecture of our assortment using analytics, and then determining where that assortment should go from an allocation from a store basis based on where the consumers are that are looking for that specific product. And we're also leveraging analytics to help us with pricing and promotional cadences. And those capabilities have really led to an expansion in AUR, our ability to step away from promotions and really grow our gross margins and AUR. And we saw that come to bear in the first quarter. And then we're streamlining our operating model, which means we're managing our costs, but also developing an operating model that allows us to be more responsive. So as we see consumers change, we can react quickly. And all of those things came to bear in the first quarter. You can see it in our results. And I do think it sets us apart from the competition. And our organization really represents our competitive advantage as we get behind the acceleration program.
In 2020, luxury companies suffered tremendous losses from closed stores and plunge in international tourism. From 2009 to 2019, the personal luxury goods market almost doubled, surging from 147 billion euros to 281 billion euros. Analysts predict that this pandemic will set the industry back 6 to 9 years economically, and that recovery to pre-COVID levels is likely to be somewhere between 2022 and 2023.
Speaking of your financial results, you talked about the cost and also operational changes. Let's take a look at the global supply chain. The pandemic is still not over in other parts of the world. In China, it is still going on, but it's largely under control. But especially in Europe, where many luxury brands are based or headquartered or based, production line there has been disrupted. So what do you think of the increasing operational cost and operational pressure added on this industry? Is that going to be over as long as the pandemic is in place, or are luxury brands, I'm talking about the entire industry, finding ways to navigate through this challenging time?
Yes, there undoubtedly will be disruptions. The situation is quite dynamic, and I think where what you see these days is the real benefits of having a globally diversified supply chain. We do have a globally diversified supply chain, and it's been a competitive advantage for our company. But in the industry, I think, you'll see where, companies who don't have that level of diversification can be more susceptible to longer disruptions in the supply chain. But I think it does highlight the benefits of having a diversified supply chain globally.
So in what ways will your brand strategy evolve in a foreseeable future?
The brand strategies are evolving with our consumer, and it is about ensuring we're delivering product that our consumer wants behind the core brand equities. And we've done a lot of work recently to really understand the true purpose of the brands. What are the brands? What is the brand promise to consumers? And then improve our execution behind those key brand equities. It's making sure our marketing voice reflects all of the key elements of our brand. I think if you think about the Kate Spade brand, it's about joy and optimism and color. And how do we get behind the key purpose and ethos of that brand and deliver that in our product and in our marketing and in our store experiences? We began to change some of our marketing in that brand specifically, and we're beginning to change the product. You'll be seeing that more as the product flows. And last quarter alone, we grew our new customers. We saw growth in our new customers over 300,000, and we're reactivating lapsed customers, which is a great sign that we are now reaching our core customers. We're doing the same thing with our Stuart Weitzman brand and with Coach. In fact, across all of our brands last quarter, we drove over 800,000 new customers on our digital channels. So leaning into digital and getting behind the core brand purpose and delivering both product and marketing is where you'll see us taking our brands.
Coming up next, for future development, is digital the best way out?
It's a new way to do clienteling, and it's a new way for our associates to engage consumers.
Can the luxury fashion industry go green?
And the question is, how are we impacting our communities? And then how are we impacting our planet?
"360-degree profiles of industry movers and shakers, tech mavericks, and policymakers. We drill down on their success. We ask how they set strategy and how they navigate in an increasingly competitive market. Real talk, real business. Join the conversation. BizTalk, only on CGTN.
Welcome back. We're speaking with the CEO of luxury fashion company Tapestry, Joanne Crevoiserat. Luxury goods players are recognizing the repatriation of spending by Chinese consumers, but they need to rethink the ways they do business here in China with shifting shopping habits and changing consumer groups. You talked a lot about your digital innovation. Do you see this trend continue even during a post-pandemic era? In the future, will we be seeing brick-and-mortar stores becoming supporting features for digital strategies?
Exactly. We're seeing the consumer really adopt these digital shopping habits, and then more and more asking for a tie back to our stores. So an omni-channel consumer is emerging where they're very digitally engaged, but also want to have a consistent experience when they go into our stores. And we're leaning into those digital capabilities and also engaging new partners. And in fact, we had a soft launch on Tmall with the Coach brand, and now Coach is the #1 handbag brand on the Tmall platform. So we're engaging new partnerships and reaching consumers in new ways.
The luxury market has been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic, but digital platforms have softened the blow. Tapestry, for instance, reports that the company has achieved triple-digit e-commerce growth for the second consecutive quarter. According to Bain & Company, by 2025, online sales could account for as much as 30% of the luxury market, up from 12% at the beginning of 2020. In the upcoming holiday seasons, consumers are expected to be more comfortable buying their holiday gifts online instead of at brick-and-mortar stores. The luxury industry will be profoundly transformed by the pandemic, and digital sales should only become more important in the years ahead.
Joanne, tell me, what are the changes that you have observed in shopping habits since the pandemic?
Well, as I mentioned, across the world, the traffic to our stores has been challenged as consumers are slowly recovering. That recovery pace has been much faster in the China market specifically. But even as consumers are gravitating back to stores, albeit slowly, we think consumers are becoming much more comfortable shopping on digital channels, and that is now going to be integrated into the way they shop. But they're also discovering brands more on digital channels and showing up in social media, on social media, and reaching consumers through those platforms is becoming increasingly important. And I touched on it a little bit earlier, but our sales associates, particularly in the China market, where they led the way, are beginning to become influencers of their own as they do live streams and reach consumers on social media platforms. It's a new way to do clienteling, and it's a new way for our associates to engage consumers. We've actually taken that practice around the world, and we're finding the customers really responding to that. So that is another way that consumers are changing.
Any interesting cases you want to share with us during that process? I mean, you turning to social media platforms here in China and boosting your sales.
Yeah, we've got tremendous traction. There are a few videos that some of our store managers are becoming social influencers of their own right, where they were quite shy people, and then they began to engage consumers and realized that they were garnering a following of their own. So we have so many stories of our store managers, our associates, really finding a new angle and element to their career and to their life that is bringing them confidence and really a fun element for them to engage consumers with our products.
Joanne, you talked about digital analytical solutions in a way to ramp up sales in a special time, in a challenging time. What are the other ways of innovation that this luxury fashion industry is adopting at the moment?
I think the product innovation is first and foremost the important thing that our consumers can see, and how we're innovating on developing product, collaborating with artists and designers, but then also how we reach consumers. And I've talked a lot about how our associates are reaching consumers on social media platforms. But clienteling there have been innovations in clienteling, the work we've done with the We Client app, here in China has been a prototype that we've taken around the world to improve our clienteling. And then the omni-channel experiences that we offer to our consumers in terms of how they shop and engage with our brands are points of innovation.
Fashion operates on desire, but it shouldn't cost the earth. Textile industry is responsible for 1.2 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent per year, more than those of all international flights and maritime shipping trips combined. That's according to Ellen MacArthur Foundation. The new generation of consumers know that with great freedom comes great responsibility. They're not just buying the products they like, they're buying the value behind the brands. But the luxury industry is embedded with concepts like excessive consumerism, extremely high costs, and guilty pleasures. To cater to the new consumers, there is an urgent rip of those tags. Making fashion sustainable is step one.
And speaking of all those new customers you're getting, many of them probably are the millennial customers. That's every industry's favorite demography. The millennials, however, there's a trend being seen among those consumers that they tend to buy into socially conscious brands. What are the determining factors for sustainability in the fashion industry?
You know, as we think about sustainability, we call it our social fabric, and we think about it in three ways. It's about our people, it's about our communities, and it's about our planet. And the question is, what are we doing to elevate equity, diversity, and inclusion in our business every day? How are we impacting our communities? And that is, you know, ensuring that our communities are thriving with our company. And then how are we impacting our planet and making sure we're taking the right steps to make improvements that make a real difference in the planet. And for Tapestry, that means, you know, commitments around driving more equity, diversity, and inclusion at our leadership levels. It means really impacting our communities. And you can see that in the donation we provided to Wuhan really at the beginning of the pandemic, as well as our Coach Foundation, which has a Dream It Real, through the Dream It Real campaign, partnering with the China Youth Development Foundation. So those two partnership, and it really speaks to that Dream It Real opportunity to drive education and advocacy for youth. So it really is about impacting our communities. And then as it relates to the planet at Tapestry, we're very focused on ensuring that we, you know, have traceability in our raw materials, that we know where our materials are produced. We're targeting increased use of recycled materials and reduce water usage in our production. So we are very focused on improving the planet as we drive our operations, and I think that's critical across the fashion industry.
Would it also be part of your sustainability call to call on the consumers to buy less but buy better?
You know, we make sure that and the one important thing about our products is that we deliver quality. We deliver products with great craftsmanship that are made to last. So we want our consumers to buy and hold our product and love our products for a long time. And I think that's part of all of our brands, what we deliver to the marketplace.
In China, you talked about those younger consumer base generally. In China here specifically, some are saying that the younger Chinese luxury product consumers, they are more educated. They could be, however, less loyal to brands. What are you doing in order to make sure that they have this loyalty to certain brands?
Yeah, well, the way we look at it is we have to earn their loyalty, and we have to earn their loyalty every day with the product we deliver. Our focus is to stay very close to our consumers, to understand what they want. You know, consumer values are changing, consumer shopping preferences are changing, and we need to be more agile and responsive as those change. As we do lots of consumer surveys and research, but then bring that research back and embed it in how we create product to ensure we're creating the right product for the market, we're responding to what they need, and then innovating to ensure we're delivering the right experiences for our consumers. And that is, that's how we earn their loyalty.
Coming up next, How much potential does the Chinese luxury market have yet to unleash?
China market is a big market, representing already about 15% of our global revenues.
Where will the newly appointed CEO lead Tapestry?
I'm also a big sports fan, so I love it when we put points on the board and we have a great plan.
Each day, there are millions of stories. Each one can open new perspectives, new possibilities. Wherever you look, we are there. To see, discover, explore. We put the pieces together to find what really matters to you, all around the world, all around the clock. Our reporters are at home across the globe. From our headquarters in Beijing and production centers in Washington, Nairobi, and London, China Global Television Network. Stories from across the globe, reaching people across the globe. CGTN. See the difference.
Welcome back, and this is BizTalk. Despite a rebound in consumption in China, the luxury market in other parts of the world are still impacted by travel restrictions and lockdowns, especially in Europe, where many brands are headquartered and have key suppliers. Operating challenges are adding to the pressure. We speak to the CEO of luxury fashion company Tapestry, Joanne Crevoiserat, for her takes on the outlook for the luxury industry. And tell me, in your global landscape, what role does the China market play? Has there been any changes to that role since the pandemic and given the current circumstances?
China market is a big market, and it's a growing market, and it's a very important market for Tapestry, representing already about 15% of our global revenues and growing quickly. And I think even this year, it really shows the importance of the market for us, and I think for global luxury. We continue to see a tremendous amount of runway in China for all of our brands. You know, as I mentioned, Coach has been in the market for over 2 decades and has, seen tremendous success over that time. But we continue to see opportunities to serve more customers in more ways with the Coach brand. So a lot of runway ahead. We're also, leaning into the domestic tourism through the China duty-free market. So we see, consumers in China traveling domestically, and we're reaching those consumers as well. So a bright future for us in China and a bright future for the market in total.
Apart from the China market, Joanne, where do you expect to see the next turnaround or rebound globally? Yeah,
the North America market is also rebounding, albeit more slowly than China. But beyond China, we have a global business, so all of our markets are important. But our emphasis is really on the China market and the North America market as we manage through the recovery of the pandemic.
China has led the way toward a recovery of the global economy, and Chinese consumers are set to cement their status as crucial drivers of the luxury industry. Bain reports that Chinese consumers will make up half of the global luxury purchases by 2025, up from just 2% 20 years ago. And one way to make the most out of this great market potential is to make sure luxury brands do not miss out on any major events in China.
And I know that you're attending this year's China International Import Expo. What are you expecting out of this year's fair?
Yeah, we enjoy the expo. I think we started last year and then signed on this year for another few years. And it's a great opportunity for us to connect with and network with government officials, our partners, as well as our customers. And we're looking forward to bringing all of our brands to the expo this year and, bringing our latest collections. In fact, at Coach, we'll be unveiling the global debut of the Alley handbag at the event. We'll also be doing entertaining live streams to our customers and reaching consumers to showcase all of that great product while we're there.
2020 marks the third consecutive year for CIIE and also the third year since Coach changed its name to Tapestry in 2017. But this is the first year for Joanne Crevoiserat to lead the company as CEO. 2020 has been a pretty difficult year for every business leader. The pandemic has upped the competition between luxury brands. Who will get knocked out at this stage? Who will emerge victorious? This will be a true mental challenge for business leaders.
Joanne, you used to be CFO of the company. Now you're running the company. What do you think of the transition in this corporate role?
It's really a privilege to shift from being the CFO to really leading the teams and charting our path forward. We have a great plan and we're starting to get traction. I'm also a big sports fan, so I love it when we put points on the board, and last quarter was one of those quarters where we put some points on the board. We're making progress towards our vision and executing against the plan, and I couldn't be more optimistic about our potential.
How do you feel about being a female leader of a Fortune 500 company?
I don't think it's really sunk in yet, and I don't think about that much, but it's interesting after my appointment. I have two daughters, and, just their reaction, to my appointment and how proud they were, it, made me reflect on, my over 30-year career in this industry. And it's a terrific industry, and I've had wonderful opportunities to really grow and develop along my career. I've been given opportunities to experience new things. I've had mentors who have helped me along the way. And I do think that that's important. We need to make sure that we're developing talent, diverse talent, and we're giving people opportunities to grow their careers. And for me, I like to give back and make sure that I'm a mentor as well.
It's a great answer, Joanne. Before I let you go, I wanted to get your take on the outlook for the entire industry. So
we believe that, while the visibility is still quite uncertain, we play in a category that has experienced robust growth over many years. Pre-COVID, the handbag and small leather goods category grew at mid to high single digits, and we saw consumers really engaging in our categories. As we've moved through and into the pandemic, we've done consumer research, and we're finding that consumers are still intend to purchase the handbag category. They're still engaging with the category. Even in the forward 12 months, they're indicating a high purchase intent for handbags and small leather goods category. So, and we're seeing it in our results. And I think in others' results, you're seeing the consumers' continued interest in engaging with the category. I think, the near term is a little bit uncertain in terms of the path to recovery at COVID. And we like our ability to take market share and grow our share and grow our operating leverage as we do that going forward.
Okay, thank you very much, Joanne. Great answers. Thank you so much. Now that was Joanne Crevoiserat, CEO of Tapestry, speaking to us about Tapestry, how is the company navigating through the pandemic and its ambition in the China market. I'm Lulu Lu. Till next time.